All right, let's talk about sleep. We're in this amazing era where we've got cutting-edge tech that gives us all this data about our bodies, but we're also rediscovering some really ancient wisdom. Today, we're going to build a bridge between those two worlds. We'll see how the numbers from your sleep tracker can actually unlock insights that people have understood for thousands of years, all to help us get that perfect night's sleep. So picture this. You wake up, you grab your phone, and you check your sleep app. And boom, there it is, a score. Maybe it's a 92, which feels awesome, or maybe it's a 65, which is less awesome. But here's the real question. Do you actually know why you got that score? What is that little ring on your finger really measuring while you're off in dreamland? Let's get into it. Your wearable, whether it's an Oura ring or something else, is basically a mini sleep lab that you wear. All night long, it's keeping tabs. It's tracking how long you slept, and it's breaking it down into all the different stages, light, deep, and that all-important REM sleep. It's also watching your heart rate and even the tiny variations in your heart's rhythm. Plus, it logs every single time you toss, turn, or wake up. Then some super smart algorithm takes all of that info and boils it down to one simple sleep score. But here's the secret. The magic isn't in that final number. It's in understanding all of the pieces that go into it.
Okay, so if we really want to understand what our bodies are trying to tell us, we've got to zoom in on two of the most important metrics your ring tracks. We're talking about REM sleep and heart rate variability, or HRV. You can think of these as the secret signals your body is sending you every single night. So first up, REM. That stands for rapid eye movement, of course. And, they call it paradoxical sleep, which is such a cool name. And here's why. Your body is basically paralyzed. Your muscles are totally relaxed. But your brain? Your brain is on fire. It's almost as active as it is when you're wide awake. This is the stage where most of your really vivid, story-like dreams happen.
And this is why REM is so incredibly important. It's often called the brain's overnight therapy session. This is when your brain gets to work sorting through all the emotional stuff from your day. And what's really fascinating is that it does this in a brain state with very low levels of a stress chemical called norepinephrine. This lets your brain kind of file the memory and keep the lesson, but strip away the stress and anxiety attached to it. This idea of processing emotions while we sleep is a huge deal, and we're going to come back to it from a totally different angle later. All right, next up, HRV. Now, this one sounds a little technical, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It's not about your heart rate itself, but the tiny millisecond differences in the time between each heartbeat. A healthy, relaxed heart doesn't beat like a perfect metronome. It has a natural, subtle irregularity. And measuring that irregularity gives us a direct look into how stressed or relaxed your nervous system is. So here's the main thing you need to know. Higher HRV is good. It's a sign that your body is in rest and digest mode. You're recovered, you're resilient, you're ready to take on the day. Low HRV, on the other hand, is a red flag. It means your fight or flight system is in overdrive. Your body is dealing with stress, maybe from a bad night's sleep, getting sick, or just life. It's an incredibly powerful clue about your overall readiness. So we want more REM sleep and a higher HRV. Naturally, we go online to figure out how to improve our sleep, and we usually end up with a pretty familiar list of tips. This is what you could call the modern, standard issue guide to getting better rest. I bet you've seen this list a million times, right? Be consistent with your bedtime, even on the weekends. Cut off the caffeine early in the day, go easy on the alcohol, put your phone away before bed, and turn your bedroom into a cool, dark, quiet cave. And look, this is all fantastic, science-backed advice. It absolutely works for a lot of us. But here's where things get interesting. What if you're doing it all? You're checking every single box on that list. And still, like clockwork, your eyes just pop wide open at 3 in the morning. Your ring confirms it happened, but it can't tell you why. For that answer, we might need to look at a completely different kind of clock. So let's explore a system that's been around for thousands of years, but is having a major comeback right now. You might have even seen people talking about it on social media. I'm talking about the body clock from traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM. This gives us a completely different lens for looking at our health, and especially our sleep. The core idea of TCM is just beautiful, really. It says that our bodies aren't just isolated machines. We're a part of the natural world, and we're designed to live in harmony with its rhythms. Day and night, activity and rest. So sleep isn't just about shutting down. It's about getting back in sync with that fundamental cycle of nature. And the TCM body clock is the map for this. The theory goes that your body's vital energy, which they call qi, circulates through your major organ systems over a 24-hour period. And each organ gets its own 2-hour primetime slot where its energy is at a peak, so it can do its most important repair and maintenance work. So how can this ancient map possibly help with our very modern problem of waking up at 3 a.m.? Well, according to this system, the specific time you wake up is anything but random. It's actually a message, a clue that's pointing you directly to an organ system that might be struggling or out of balance. Now, this chart, this is the body's nightly to-do list. As you can see, different parts of your body have their own shifts. But let's look at those key middle-of-the-night hours. Waking up between 1 and 3 a.m., that points to the liver, which is in charge of detoxing your body, but also processing emotions like stress and anger. Waking up a little later, say between 3 and 5 a.m., that points to the lungs, which are associated with grief and letting go. That 1 to 3 a.m. window is a huge one. Seriously, it's one of the most common sleep issues people talk about. And in the world of TCM, that is prime time for your liver. It's when it's supposed to be doing its most important work. And if something is making that job harder, it can literally jolt you awake. So what could be overloading your liver? Well, it could be something physical, like that glass of wine or that heavy meal you had late at night. But, and this is so cool, remember how we said REM sleep is like overnight therapy? Well, in TCM, organs are also tied to emotions. So that argument you had, or that frustration from work that you never dealt with, that can be just as taxing on your liver's energy, its qi, as a physical toxin. It's the exact same idea, emotional processing during sleep, just viewed through two completely different lenses. And this perspective gives us a whole new set of tools to work with. It's not just about making your room dark anymore. It's about trying to be asleep by 11 p.m. so your gallbladder and liver have a chance to do their jobs properly. It's about maybe skipping that evening drink to give your liver a night off. And it's about using simple things like deep breathing to calm your whole system down and get it ready for real, restorative rest. And this is where it all clicks into place. You see, we don't have to pick a side between our high-tech wearable and this ancient wisdom. In fact, they're way more powerful when we use them together. You can think of it like this. Your Oura Ring is incredible at telling you what is happening. It gives you the hard data. Hey, you were restless from 1:17 to 2:45 a.m. and your HRV tanked. Then, the TCM body clock comes in and offers a possible story, a framework for why it might be happening. Ah, that's liver time. Maybe you were overloaded by stress or that late dinner. So the big idea here is that our modern technology isn't making this ancient knowledge obsolete. If anything, it's validating it. The very same patterns that TCM practitioners have been observing for thousands of years are now showing up as measurable data points on our apps. We just have a new digital language to talk about these old truths. When you boil it all down, both of these perspectives, the modern and the ancient, agree on one fundamental thing. Sleep is not a passive state. It is an active, vital process of repair, of regeneration, of self-healing. Whether you call it balancing your qi or optimizing your HRV, the goal is exactly the same, giving your body the space it needs to fix itself. So, the next time you look at your sleep score, try not to see just a number. See it as a clue, a signpost on a much deeper, more personal journey. And ask yourself, is this little gadget just a piece of tech? Or could it be a modern map for a very ancient journey, a journey back to balance and a truly perfect night's sleep?